ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. You're lying peacefully in bed, deep in sleep, and then suddenly your eyes snap open. You check the clock, 3:15 a.m. again. You've been waking up at this time for weeks, maybe even months. And you wonder, why? Is it stress? Is it coincidence? Or is something far more profound happening? What if I told you that this specific time between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not just another random hour of the night? What if this is the most powerful window for transformation, insight, and connection to something greater than yourself? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this happens, what it means for you, and 3 things you can do to use this moment to shift your entire life. That's the reason why so many people wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And it's not just a random quirk of your body. If you've ever found yourself waking up at this time, seemingly without explanation, you're not alone. It happens to people all over the world, and for many, it marks the beginning of a profound personal transformation. The question is, what is really happening during these early morning hours? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? To understand this, we need to look beyond the idea of simple sleep disruption. When you wake up during this window, your mind and body are in a unique state, one that science, spirituality, and ancient wisdom traditions all recognize as significant. While most people are deeply asleep, something within you is stirring. You're not waking up because of a mere external factor. There is something inside of you that is nudging you awake, something that wants your attention. From a neurological standpoint, this period of time is when your brain is in a state of transition. While the earlier hours of the night are dominated by deep restorative sleep, the hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. see a shift. Your brain moves from the slow delta waves of deep sleep into more active theta and alpha waves. These are the same brainwave states seen in deep meditation, hypnosis, and moments of intense creativity. Theta waves, in particular, are significant. This brainwave state is where the subconscious mind is most accessible. It's the state where deep emotional patterns, hidden fears, and repressed memories can surface. It's also the state where we are most open to inspiration, insight, and intuitive guidance. When you wake up at this time, your brain is not in its usual waking consciousness. You in a space between worlds, a liminal space where you can access thoughts, emotions, and even messages from your deeper self that are usually drowned out by the noise of the day. This is why so many great thinkers, artists, and visionaries have experienced sudden bursts of inspiration in the middle of the night. It's not just coincidence, it's because their minds were in a state where deep creativity and intuition could flow freely. If you've ever had an idea come to you seemingly out of nowhere at 3 a.m., this is why. Your logical, critical mind is quiet, and something deeper is able to emerge. But there's another layer to this. In many spiritual traditions, the hours before dawn are considered sacred. In yogic philosophy, this time is known as the Brahma Muhurto, or the Creator's Hour, a time when the veil between the physical world and the higher realms is thinner. Monks, sages, and spiritual seekers across cultures have deliberately woken up during these hours for prayer, meditation, and self-reflection, because they believed that during this time one is closest to their higher self. If you've been waking up at this time consistently, it could be a sign that your body, mind, and spirit are calling you towards something greater. It could mean that you are being invited to tune in, to listen, to explore a part of yourself that you may have been ignoring. It could also mean that your subconscious mind is processing something significant, whether it's an unresolved emotion, a deep-seated fear, or even a suppressed desire for change. Think about what's happening in your life. Are you at a crossroads? Are you feeling a pull towards something new but resisting it? Is there something you need to let go of, but haven't? Waking up at this hour can be a signal that there's something within you that needs attention. Many people try to fight this awakening. They look at the clock, get frustrated, and try to force themselves back to sleep. But what if, instead of resisting it, you embraced it? What if you used this time as an opportunity to connect with yourself on a deeper level? Instead of tossing and turning, use these moments to reflect. What thoughts or emotions come up? What do you feel in your body? What do you intuitively sense? If you're someone who has been experiencing this phenomenon regularly, take it as a sign. You are being invited into something deeper. This is not just a sleep disruption, it's a doorway. And if you choose to walk through it, you may discover something about yourself that you never knew was there. There is a reason why so many people wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., and it's not just a random sleep disturbance. This specific window of time has been considered significant across cultures, traditions, and even modern science. If you find yourself consistently waking up during these hours, it could mean that you are experiencing something far deeper than simple restlessness. You are tapping into a space that exists between two worlds, the physical and the non-physical, the conscious and the subconscious, the seen and the unseen. In the quiet stillness of the early morning, before the world fully awakens, there is a shift in energy. This is a time when the external distractions of daily life fade away, allowing something else to rise to the surface. It is in these moments that the barriers between your conscious mind and your deeper, more intuitive self begin to dissolve. This is why for centuries, spiritual seekers, mystics, and visionaries have deliberately woken up during these hours for meditation, prayer, and self-reflection. They knew something that many of us have forgotten. This time is a window between worlds. One of the key reasons for this is the state of the brain during these hours. When you first fall asleep, your brain moves into deep delta waves, the slowest and most restorative brainwave state. But by the time you reach the early morning hours, your brain begins to transition into theta and alpha waves. In these moments, the logical, analytical part of your mind is not fully awake yet, which means that you are more receptive to subtle messages, emotions, and insights that might otherwise go unnoticed. Many people report having vivid dreams, sudden realizations, or even a deep sense of peace during this time. Some wake up feeling as if they have just received an important message or experienced a powerful connection with something beyond themselves. Others describe a feeling of clarity, as if their mind is able to process emotions and experiences in a way that feels different from their usual waking state. In ancient traditions, this time has been considered sacred. In Eastern philosophy, it is often referred to as the Brahma Muhurta, or the Creator's hour. It is believed that during this time, the energy of the universe is most aligned with spiritual growth, higher wisdom, and personal transformation. Monks, yogis, and spiritual practitioners across cultures have used these hours to engage in deep meditation, believing that the connection to the divine is strongest just before dawn. Even in traditional Chinese medicine, the early morning hours are associated with the lungs and by extension, the processing of grief, emotional release, and inner transformation. If you are waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it could mean that there is an emotional or energetic shift happening within you. Your body and mind are speaking to you, asking you to pay attention to something that may be unresolved, unacknowledged, or ready to be released. Some people who consistently wake up at this time describe feeling a presence, whether it's a sense of guidance, a deep inner knowing, or even an awareness of something beyond themselves. This is not mere imagination. When you are in a theta-dominant state, your perception expands, and you become more attuned to subtle energies and intuitive insights. You may find that you experience synchronicities more often, that you feel more connected to your inner voice, or that you begin to sense patterns and messages that were previously hidden from you. But why is this happening to you? Why now? For many, waking up at this time is a sign of personal transformation. It often happens during periods of deep change. When you are on the verge of something new, when your subconscious mind is working through past experiences, or when you are being called to a higher level of awareness. If you are experiencing this, it is important to ask yourself, what is shifting in my life? What am I being asked to pay attention to? What do I feel deep within that I have been ignoring? The mistake most people make is assuming that waking up at this time is simply an inconvenience, something to be fixed with better sleep habits or a change in routine. But if you embrace this time as an opportunity rather than a disturbance, you may find that it holds the answers you have been searching for. Instead of resisting, try leaning into it. The next time you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't reach for your phone. Don't force yourself back to sleep immediately. Instead, take a deep breath and sit with whatever comes up. Pay attention to the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that arise. Ask yourself, what is my mind trying to tell me? What emotions are surfacing? What insights am I receiving? You may be surprised at what you discover. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not just a random event. It is a moment when your brain enters a unique state of awareness unlike any other time of day. While most people see it as an inconvenience or a sign of disrupted sleep, the truth is that this period holds immense potential. Your body, your mind, and even your consciousness are shifting in ways that allow you to access deeper levels of understanding, intuition, and transformation. The key to unlocking this power lies in understanding what is happening inside your brain during these early hours. Throughout the night, your brain moves through different cycles of sleep, each associated with distinct brainwave activity. In the earlier hours, your brain is dominated by delta waves, the slowest and deepest form of brain activity, responsible for physical restoration and deep, unconscious processing. However, as you move closer to the morning, your brain begins to transition into a different rhythm, shifting into theta and alpha waves. These waves are associated with states of deep meditation, intuition, and subconscious program. Theta waves in particular are powerful because they create a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. They are the same brainwave state experienced during hypnosis, when the mind is most open to suggestion and deep transformation. When you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you are not fully in your normal waking state. Instead, you exist in this in-between space where your usual mental barriers are lowered and your subconscious is more accessible. This is why so many people experience vivid dreams, sudden insights, and even feelings of deep emotional clarity during these hours. This is also the reason why creative people, mystics, and visionaries throughout history have described receiving their greatest ideas and insights in the early hours of the morning. In this state, you are able to think beyond the limitations of your logical mind. Problems that seemed impossible during the day suddenly have solutions. Ideas flow more freely. Emotions that were buried beneath the surface rise into awareness, allowing for deeper healing and release. But there's another layer to this. Your nervous system also plays a critical role in what happens when you wake up at this time. The body operates on a natural rhythm governed by the autonomic nervous system, which alternates between the sympathetic fight or flight and parasympathetic rest and digest state. However, as you begin to transition toward wakefulness, subtle shifts occur in your nervous system, sometimes bringing unresolved stress or emotions into conscious awareness. If you find yourself waking up with a sense of anxiety, restlessness, or even deep contemplation, it could be your body's way of processing emotions that have not yet been fully resolved. This is why many people experience breakthroughs during this time. The body and mind are working together to bring buried thoughts and emotions to the surface, allowing you to process and integrate them. Instead of resisting this wakefulness, you can use it as an opportunity to connect more deeply. Key is to understand that this time is a window, a doorway into deeper awareness. If you wake up and immediately force yourself back to sleep or distract yourself with technology, you miss the opportunity to explore what is truly happening within you. Instead, try using this time as a tool for growth. Pay attention to what thoughts arise naturally. Notice the emotions that surface. Ask yourself questions. What is my subconscious trying to tell me? What insights am I receiving? What patterns or themes have been emerging in my life? By tuning into this state rather than resisting it, you can harness the power of your own subconscious mind. Some of the most powerful practices you can do at this time include visualization, meditation, and deep breathing. Because your brain is in a suggestible state, anything you focus on during this time has a stronger impact on your subconscious programming. If you direct your thoughts toward gratitude, healing, or the vision of the future you want to create, these ideas become embedded at a deeper level. This is why spiritual traditions emphasize prayer and reflection in the early morning. It is a time when the mind is naturally more open to transformation. Many people who begin paying attention to their 3 a.m. awakenings notice patterns. Some report experiencing an increase in synchronicities during the day, as if their intuition has sharpened. Others find that they wake up with solutions to problems they had been struggling with. Some even describe a deep sense of peace, as if they have tapped into something beyond themselves. So the next time you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't see it as a disruption, see it as an opportunity. Your brain, your nervous system, and your consciousness are aligning in a way that allows for profound shifts to occur. Rather than resisting it, embrace it. Pay attention, reflect, visualize. Because in these quiet moments before the rest of the world stirs, you have access to something truly extraordinary. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. can feel like an inconvenience, something you brush off as stress or a bad habit. But what if this wasn't just a random event? What if your body and mind were actually trying to communicate something important to you? What if this awakening was a message? The truth is, waking up at this time is often not about external factors. It's about what's happening within you. Whether you realize it or not, your body and subconscious mind are deeply interconnected, constantly working behind the scenes to process your emotions, thoughts, and even your deeper desires. If you're consistently waking up during these early morning hours, it's not a mistake. It's a signal. One of the most important things to understand is that sleep is not just a time for physical rest. It's also when the mind processes unresolved emotions. During the day, we are busy, our attention is scattered between responsibilities, distractions, and external demands. But at night, when everything is quiet, our subconscious mind begins its work. It brings forward emotions, memories, and thoughts that we may have suppressed or ignored. This is why people often have vivid dreams, or wake up feeling emotional, even if they can't pinpoint why. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., this process is heightened. This is the time when your brain transitions between deep sleep and lighter sleep cycles, allowing for greater subconscious activity. If there is something unresolved within you, whether it's stress, grief, fear, or even excitement for a new chapter in life, this is the time when your mind brings it to the surface. From a physiological perspective, your body is also involved in this awakening. Traditional Chinese medicine TCM teaches that different organs in the body are most active at specific times of the night. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the lungs are most active. The lungs are associated with the emotion of grief, as well as the ability to release and let go. If you find yourself waking up consistently during this window, it could be a sign that your body is trying to process emotions tied to loss, change, or unspoken feelings. This is why so many people who are going through major life transitions, such as the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, or even a deep personal transformation, experience these early morning awakenings. Their body and mind are working together to help them process emotions they may not even be fully aware of during the day. But it's not just grief or emotional pain that can cause these awakenings. Sometimes, waking up at this time is a sign that something new is emerging within you. You may be at the edge of a major breakthrough, whether in your personal growth, your career, or even your spiritual evolution. Your subconscious is trying to get your attention, nudging you toward the next step in your journey. Many people report feeling a strong sense of intuition during these hours. Some wake up with sudden insights or ideas, as if their mind is trying to show them something they need to pay attention to. Others feel a deep sense of restlessness, as if they are being pulled towards something greater, but don't yet know what it is. This is because during these hours, your mind is more connected to your intuition, your inner voice, and even the deeper calling of your life. So what should you do if you find yourself waking up at this time? The worst thing you can do is ignore it. Instead of dismissing these awakenings as random, start paying attention. The next time you wake up at 3 a.m., take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What thoughts are coming up? Is there something in my life that I need to acknowledge or address? You may find that certain patterns start to emerge. Maybe you're waking up with a sense of urgency about a decision you've been avoiding. Maybe you realize that there's an emotion you haven't fully processed. Maybe you wake up with an idea that feels too powerful to ignore. Whatever it is, trust that your body and mind are trying to tell you something important. One of the most powerful ways to work with these early morning awakenings is through mindfulness and reflection. Instead of immediately trying to force yourself back to sleep, take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to be present. You might try journaling, writing down any thoughts or emotions that come up. You might meditate, simply sitting in stillness and observing what arises. Or you might use visualization, focusing on the future you want to create, and allowing your subconscious mind to guide you. By embracing these moments rather than resisting them, you can transform them into opportunities for growth and clarity. Instead of seeing your 3 a.m. awakening as a problem, see it as an invitation. Your body, your mind, and your soul are speaking to you. Are you willing to listen? Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not just a random occurrence. It is a moment where your consciousness is highly receptive, and your body and mind are signaling something deeper. One of the most intriguing aspects of these awakenings is the undeniable pull towards self-awareness, a call to expand beyond your current state. It is in these quiet early morning hours that you have a rare opportunity, an open doorway, to shift your perspective, reprogram your subconscious mind, and connect with something far greater than your everyday self. At this time, your brain is operating in a unique rhythm, transitioning between deep sleep and wakefulness. This means your subconscious mind is more accessible than it is during your normal waking hours. Your usual defenses, doubts, and conditioned responses are softened, making it easier to access the beliefs, emotions, and inner programs that influence your life. This is why if you learn how to use this time intentionally, you can experience profound mental, emotional, and even spiritual transformation. Think of your mind as a fertile field. During the day, your conscious mind is like the surface soil, constantly being walked on, impacted by external events, and distracted by daily responsibilities. But during these early morning hours, the deeper layers of that field, the subconscious, are exposed and ready to be influenced. Whatever thoughts, emotions, and intentions you focus on during this time will plant seeds deep within your subconscious, which will later manifest in your waking reality. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize the power of prayer, meditation, and deep contemplation in the early morning hours. Ancient wisdom recognizes that this is the time when the veil between the conscious and the subconscious is thinnest, and when the mind is most connected to higher states of awareness. When you wake up at this time, you have a choice. You can either dismiss it as a sleep disturbance, or you can recognize it as an opportunity to rewire your thinking, elevate your consciousness, and align with a greater vision for your life. One of the most effective ways to harness this time is through intentional thought and visualization. If you find yourself waking up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., don't immediately try to fall back asleep. Instead, take a moment to notice where your thoughts naturally go. Are you feeling anxious about something? Are you remembering a past event? Are you thinking about your future? Whatever it is, observe it without judgment. This is your subconscious revealing itself to you. Once you become aware of your thoughts, you can then shift them in a direction that serves you. Instead of allowing your mind to wander into fear, regret, or stress, deliberately choose a thought or vision that aligns with the future you want to create. This is where mental reprogramming comes in. If you consciously focus on feelings of gratitude, abundance, healing, or success during this time, those emotions become deeply embedded in your subconscious. Neuroscience has shown that the brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and reality. When you intentionally focus on positive, high-energy emotions during this early morning window, you are training your brain to recognize these states as your new normal. Over time, this shift in focus rewires your new normal pathways, making you more naturally aligned with these elevated emotional states throughout the day. Another powerful practice is breathwork or meditation, because your nervous system is in a delicate balance during these hours. Conscious breathing or meditation can help regulate your emotional state and open your awareness to deeper insights. A simple technique is to inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly for 6 to 8 seconds. This slows down your heart rate, calms your nervous system, and allows you to enter a deeper state of relaxation and clarity. Journaling can also be incredibly effective during this time. The thoughts that surface between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are often ones that your rational mind pushes aside during the day. Writing them down can help you see patterns in your thinking, recognize subconscious fears or desires, and gain insight into what your mind and body are trying to communicate. Many people who begin using this time intentionally report experiencing heightened intuition, an increase in synchronicities, and a deeper sense of connection to their inner wisdom. Instead of feeling frustrated by waking up at this hour, they start looking forward to it, recognizing it as a sacred time for transformation. So if you find yourself waking up during these hours, don't ignore it, use it, lean into it. See it as an invitation to shift your reality at the subconscious level. The thoughts and emotions you focus on during this time will shape the trajectory of your day, your mindset, and ultimately, your life. This is not just another restless night. This is an opportunity to become the creator of your own reality. Are you ready to step into it? Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is often seen as a simple sleep disruption, something to fix or ignore. But what if it was something more? What if these awakenings were actually moments of profound alignment, signals guiding you toward a deeper connection with your intuition, your purpose, and even a higher state of consciousness? The truth is, during these early hours, something powerful is happening, and if you learn how to work with it, rather than against it, you can unlock insights, clarity, and transformation in ways you never imagined. At this time of night, when the world is still and quiet, your mind enters a heightened state of receptivity. Your usual distractions are gone, and there is nothing pulling your attention outward. This is why for centuries, spiritual traditions, mystics, and deep thinkers have considered the early morning hours as sacred, a time when you are most attuned to higher wisdom and inner knowing. Many people report waking up with sudden ideas, solutions to problems, or an overwhelming sense of peace. Others feel an inexplicable pull toward reflection, creativity, or meditation. One of the reasons for this heightened awareness is the brain's unique activity during these hours. As you transition out of deep sleep, your brain waves shift into the theta and alpha states, states associated with deep meditation, intuition, and subconscious programming. This is why dreams are often most vivid, just before waking, and why people frequently wake up with strong emotions or sudden insights. In these moments, your usual mental filters are down, making it easier to access your intuition, creativity, and even messages from your subconscious mind. But beyond brainwave activity, there is also an energetic and emotional component to these awakenings. In traditional Chinese medicine, the early morning hours are associated with the lungs, which represent the emotion of grief and the ability to let go. If you are waking up consistently at this time, it may be your body's way of telling you that there is something within you that needs to be released. Whether it's old pain, limiting beliefs, or a situation in your life that no longer serves you. This is why many people experience deep emotional clarity in these hours, as if their body and mind are working together to bring unprocessed emotions to the surface for healing. For some, waking up at this time is accompanied by a sense of urgency, as if something within them is trying to get their attention. They may feel an inner restlessness, a need to make changes, or even a pull toward a new direction in life. This is not a coincidence. The subconscious mind often communicates through feelings and impulses rather than words. If you are waking up during these hours with a sense that something in your life needs to shift, it is likely because your deeper self is trying to show you the way forward. Instead of dismissing these awakenings, you can use them as a tool for self-discovery. One of the most effective ways to do this is to ask yourself reflective questions in the moment. As soon as you wake up, take a few deep breaths and tune in. Ask yourself, what thoughts or emotions are present? Is there a recurring theme in my life that I need to pay attention to? What is my intuition trying to tell me? The key is to listen, not just with your logical mind, but with your entire being. Another powerful practice during these hours is visualization. Because your brain is in a highly suggestible state, the thoughts and images you focus on at this time have a direct impact on your subconscious. If you take a few moments to visualize the future you want to create, whether it's healing, success, love, or a greater sense of purpose, your mind begins to accept it as reality. This is one of the reasons why many high achievers and spiritual practitioners wake up early to meditate, reflect, or engage in creative work. They understand that the early morning hours are a time when the mind is most open to transformation. Breathwork and meditation are also incredibly effective during these moments. If you wake up feeling anxious or unsettled, focusing on your breath can help regulate your nervous system and bring you back into balance. A simple technique is to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly for 6 to 8 seconds. This not only calms the mind, but also allows you to become more present, making it easier to receive insights and clarity. Some people who begin working with their 3 a.m. awakenings report an increase in synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to guide them toward the right people, opportunities, or realizations. Others notice that their intuition becomes sharper, as if they are more in tune with the flow of life. This is because when you start paying attention to these moments, you become more aligned with your deeper self, and as a result, life starts to reflect that alignment back to you. So the next time you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't resist it. See it as an invitation. Your body, your mind, and your consciousness are guiding you towards something important, whether it's healing, transformation, or a deeper sense of purpose. This is your opportunity to listen. And if you choose to embrace it rather than ignore it, you may find that these early morning awakenings are not disruptions at all, but rather the most profound moments of clarity you've ever experienced. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., don't fight it. Don't reach for your phone. Recognize it for what it is. A moment of power, a gateway to transformation. Because in that stillness, in that silence, the universe is whispering to you, are you ready to listen?